Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Grant Tucker. I'm 19. I'm entering my sophomore year at the University of Houston. I was a graphics communication major, and this is my Future Soul 2010 submission video. Basically, my interest in shoes really took off a couple years ago when I started really paying attention to the design of shoes, how they affected what you did with them. I was playing a lot of basketball at the time, and I was just playing in running shoes, which I really don't recommend. But I mean, I try to incorporate as many different sports into a single shoe as I can, while still keeping the same focus. With my designs, whether it be my N7 runner that I did or my Jordan, they could be used for other things, but they're mainly for their respected fields, as in running and basketball. I mean, I've always loved running shoes. I obviously don't run that much, but the Air Max 1 is probably the greatest shoe of all time, to me at least. Tinker Hatfield really went out on a limb with what he did with that. Everybody thought he was crazy for putting a visible air unit on a running shoe. Nobody thought they would like that. And then 20 years later, you had the Nike Shox come out. So it obviously started a trend that's always going to be prevalent in the industry. With my shoes, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a rundown of what they are really quick. With my Jordan design, I call it the Jordan Betamax. It was actually based on the Trunner series by Jordan. I actually had the Trunner Q4, it's one of my favorite shoes. And I took the sole from that, modified it a little bit. If you look on the Trunner Q4, it has somewhat of a 180 airbag in the back, where it's just the airbag under the toe, and then it just has the lateral support in the front. What I did to add on to this is I did a rubber forefoot strap that's actually a part of the sole that's going to come over a little bit similar to the one that was on the Air Max 1 trainer that came out originally in the 80s with a forefoot strap, except this extends all the way from the sole to the other side of the shoe, just like you would see with like the LOM6, the Mellow M6, I'm sorry. And that's basically for support. To keep the shoe light, I went with a mesh, like a mesh component in the upper, as well as the same material that was used in the Kobe 5 on the upper that's infused with Flywire. So it's an extremely light shoe. If it went into production, it'd probably be between 12 and 13 ounces because of the airbag. The Kobe Zoom 5 was 10 ounces, but it had the Zoom Air and a Phylon sole, so it was a little bit lighter. As far as the bracing and things like that, like I said, it has the forefoot lockdown strap. The lacing system would be similar to the Air Max 97, where it's actually inside. It's actually inside the eyelets. The eyelets aren't exposed like they are with most basketball shoes, so it will be covered up. And the same type of tongue that would be used on the Kobe 5 would be used on this as well, which was almost like a Huarache torch type of thing that basically kept you locked down. With the Kobe 5, you don't even have to tie it; it's still going to stay around your foot because of the way that it fits, the way that it's made. And I really wanted to get that across in my Jordan shoe. And to help you get it on, I put heel tabs and tongue tabs, so it's easy to put on, easy, quick off, quick on. Like I said, it could be used for other sports. I mean, if you wanted to use this as a cross-training shoe, you definitely could. The mesh is very, very supportive, as well as the Flywire. Everybody knows Flywire is one of the biggest innovations that Nike's ever had, and I really wanted to get that across in this design. So I think it lends really, really well to the design, and here it is. Okay, now for my personal favorite was the Nike Flow that I designed for this. If it would be my dream to get this shoe made. I mean, it's an amazing shoe. I mean, I'm a little partial to it because I made it, but I really think it's a very well done design from the colorway that was actually inspired by Native Americans. You see a lot of purple, you see a lot of turquoise. Those are very prevalent colors in the culture. So I really wanted to bring that into the shoe, as well as making a very functional, very what would you say? Very ecological friendly shoe. So basically with this shoe, the front of the shoe on the forefoot, that part of the sole is actually a free sole, like you would see on the Nike Air Max 90 Current Huarache, like if you saw the Bacons and the ones that have the Huff print on them. And then the back is just a regular Zoom Air unit. It's not It's not an Air Max unit, that's a little bit heavier, so I wanted to go light. So I went with the Zoom Air unit on this, and it lends itself really well because it flows directly into the front of the foot portion where you have the free sole. That's where you need the most flexibility. That's where your feet are mainly going to be hitting the ground. The Zoom Air is just for support once you're flat-footed. And as far as the top of the shoe, it's a neoprene upper, just like you would see in the old Huarache shoes. So it's basically like a sock, but it's a little bit thicker, and it does have some fly wire for bracing on the outside. Not much, because the neoprene itself, I mean, you don't really need too much support for it, but it does help a little bit. And then I took the strap from the Huarache trainers. They're actually going to be retro at the end of the year. It's one of my favorite shoes, and it's a really, really great shoe. And it's a very, very technical aspect of the shoe. So it's gonna keep your foot locked down. It's gonna allow for more flexibility, and it's gonna give you that extra burst when you need to run. As far as the lacing with the neoprene upper, just like in the Huarache, I didn't really want to put that much of a lacing component in it because it's already a very tight shoe. So what I wanted to do is I incorporated the lacing system from the Nike Prestos, which is a super popular running shoe that's actually just started getting retros and actually doing some lunar variations of it. But the Presto lacing, it's only 2 eyelets on each side. So there's not that much to lace. It's just going to lace it at the top of the foot because obviously the bottom of your foot's going to be locked down by the strap. So I just wanted to show you guys what I did with this one. Check it out. Okay, well, I mean, that's both my designs. Hopefully you guys will vote for me when the voting comes up in the next couple weeks. And